Hello and welcome. My name is Trismegistus and this is Factorio. We are on episode, he quickly looks at his notes, episode 6. At the end of it, last episode, we had just finished a build. It's quite a messy build, so it took me a while. We had just finished a build of not quite military science, the products to make military science, which will eventually produce military science. At the very end of the episode, one of our research is finished. So, what we need to do, fluid handling finished, which opened up all of these, or started to open up the chemical stuff. So oil processing will lead to all of these. We also need to do logistics too. That's another sort of gateway technology, particularly to trains. What I think I'll actually do is I will pop on the lab research. We'll do this lab research too. And by that time that's done, these two will probably be okay to do. And that'll give me a little bit of a sort of a pause while research is happening. This is the point I was making in, might be in episode 1 or 2, about not researching too many technologies so you don't get overwhelmed. And what I thought about doing at the end of the episode, but ended up not doing, was I was showing you a build. It's actually one that Catherine of Sky came up with. Catherine of Sky is a well-known YouTuber in this community. I use it for quite a few other things as well. I use it for inserters. Basically involves doing this sort of matrix pattern. And the basic idea is we'll be producing lots of cogs. I don't really need that. I won't do the full thing. I think I'll do a miniature version of it. So what I'm going to do instead of what I was doing, so the basic idea of it is you essentially bring iron in down the sides. Okay, I'll use it in when we do the proper main bus. And these produce, all of these machines here produce cogs or iron gear wheels. And then you feed those up into these machines here, and then it's like a cascade thing. So you have yellow inserters here, well, yellow inserters there, and then undergrounds there, and splitters there. And then those basically, so you have, this is a yellow level, this is red, and then this would be blue. Because when you have the recipes for, I mean, I haven't got them yet. Effectively, red and blue are like upgrades of these. You take basic splitter and add more stuff to it, effectively, to make a red splitter, and then you add more stuff to that to make a blue splitter. So what her design does is transfers them down. So you make yellow belts there, and they sort of cascade out in these three directions. So these would be undergrounds, and those would be splitters. But the red undergrounds use yellow undergrounds, and the blue undergrounds use red undergrounds, so you can cascade them through. You can then do a clever thing with requester chests to basically pull your old belts out and upgrade them, essentially. And the basic idea is, say, is you output them. Speaking of which, I'm out of belts. You output the cogs down these, because they're also need, the higher levels, higher tiers of belts need lots of cogs as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, pop these down. I'm going to need fast, whoops, no, don't do that. I'm going to need fast inserters. So what you do is you have the iron plates come in here, and then you output them like this. Is that right? Yeah. Like that. So they come through there. So I then want to feed them in. I think that's right. I think these use cogs, don't they? So that's... Oh no, they're just iron plates. So I don't need them. It's the higher levels I think that use cogs. So make undergrounds there, and them there. There. What you do need is that. That feels like I've got that wrong. I think I have. I think I've misplaced that slightly. Because what I actually want, I think, is... yeah, because I can then put that there, you see. Where are we? So I want that in there. So these are essentially pass-throughs. So you because the splitter uses normal belts, so you need to move belts over. But you also obviously want a lot of actual belts. I usually double. So I usually do sort of 1 and 2 because the way it stacks undergrounds in your inventory, it only lets you hold, I think it's 50, it might be 100 now, but effectively it's half the number because that's both ends. So if I put 1 down, yeah, both ends means it's 2. Yeah, so if you had 50 of them and 50 of them, you actually have half as many sort of complete underground sets as you would splitters. So why are you not working? Oh, because I didn't put that on. Because I'm not doing the red, its level of cogs is probably overkill. Well, probably it is overkill. Boop, boop, boop. We should be able to now research our damages. Yeah, so we are now producing a bit of military science. We've now got a good couple of stacks of red armor piercing ammo. It's all nice. Oh, I've not. Oh, yeah, I need to bring that in. You have to bring these up the side here, which isn't too much of a problem. So that's working. Might as well grab what we've got. Cool. Okay, so that's belts done, which is a basics. What I'll probably do is like a line where I produce some of the... You see, we can now make solar panels. We need to get them in production. Let's get rid of these trees first. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, I'll put the power stuff on. So let's make a bit of space here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll do. So I want to make power poles. Oh, actually, we could make repair packs as well, couldn't we? And lights. What do lights take? Lights are copper cable. So I'm going to use a more sort of traditional mall type layout for quite a few of these things. It will end up producing me quite small numbers, but it's the fact that they're continuous that's good. What I actually want to do is my personal preferred. Oh yeah, those only take iron sticks now, don't they? So yeah, I do need to do that. So if we make medium powerhouse and big powerhouse, they both require copper and steel as well as iron sticks. Iron sticks are made just from rolled up iron plate, effectively. Now, what I could also do, because what I could bring some circuits down here. There's quite a lot of stuff that uses these ingredients, these basic ingredients. Don't too many. By pop. So, I mean that makes these cogs, but they both need cogs, don't they? So I can either bring cogs down from the top. That might make sense because then I can also put pipes. I can bring both, the cogs and the pipes down. Because neither of them require, although that requires green circuits. That requires green circuits. Because it's like iron cogs and green circuits. How about if I get this to make lamps? Because it can also be nice to put common things together, if you see what I mean. So put power related things all in one place, and that's how I will do the bus. But what I need now, that didn't quite work, does it? If I move that over, and we put this here, because this requires an electric cable. No electric cable, a wire basically, copper wire. So I can bring that down there, feed that in there. What is this? Yeah, that's green circuits and iron plates. So we could leave it at that. We could also put something on the side here as well. Because, for example, these all require cogs, and I can bring them down as a separate thing. Because that's cogs. Although that's copper plate, isn't it? So I could do something on the end here that is them. And then we're also nice and close to the tree line. Is that covered? Yeah, that's covered. But this needs cogs. I could just make some locally, you see. Is that covered? Yeah. Just because that's... That's going to make me some... Actually, I'll put a faster turn on that. That'll make me a stack of turrets. Did I limit them? No, I didn't limit the lamps. Gotta be careful with that. You have to make sure to limit things that you're producing. So you see how we're really sort of basically dry on resources now. And it's because we're just not smelting enough stuff. We've got the ore's backed up, but these aren't producing enough iron plates to cover our demand. Which is exactly as I was expecting. I wasn't thinking that was sufficient. It was just enough to get us started. Anyway, so what I was going to do here was put on, so for example, mining drills. And what else can we put in here? We can put... Actually, I'll put that one there. We can put... What else? I don't know. I'll make them as I need them. We'll do that separate. We could do them, repair packs. We could also do... See, I want to do them separately, really. So we've got lights. Is there anything else that's worth being made? We could do radars here. So we need to put lights over here. Why is that radar not... Oh, because it needs iron plates in there. Oh, no iron plates. So what we can do next is beef up our production. And to do that, we can put down steel furnaces. Oh, I was going to finish that off with some pipe production, wasn't I? Yes, so what we can do, we can start making steel furnaces. For these we need steel and stone bricks. Should I tack it on the side here? I could, couldn't I? That wouldn't be... Because take some stone bricks down from here. Yeah, let's just do that. Not that we're really producing much steel, but I can grab all of that. Yeah, that's stacked up on there and basically use that to make the stone furnaces we need for now. Okay, so if I grab a load of steel and a load of stone brick, and I can handcraft a bunch of them. And we can chuck them on over here. That'll give us a quick boost. That'll give us the quick energy boost we need. So replace that. Oops. With that. Oh, there's not enough copper coming in. That's a different problem. That's a supply problem, really. Looks like we've already used those up. Oh no, that was... Huh? It didn't seem to be running. But also didn't seem to be producing anything. Should I research a proper research now? Because that was projectile damage 3. They get quite expensive, the buffs. So we're probably better doing sort of proper... Because we're basically making everything on our bus now that, you know, we've researched. So we're okay to start sort of opening up a bit more. How we do with iron? You see it's already sort of chewed the ends of the lines, as it were. You really do start to eat through it. You see these patches at the start of the game and you think, oh, that'll last ages. And because your production ramps up and ramps up and ramps up, and suddenly you've used up all of the stuff. So basically, this has a 0.5 second crafting time. Oh no, sorry. Crafting speed of 1, and that's a crafting speed of 2. So it works twice as fast, basically. So we've kind of doubled our production power. So we need more of these. How many have I got? Do a sort of third line coming in. I might be able to sort of rearrange this a bit. So that's oil processing done. What I should probably do, because modules would probably help out a bit as well. These take modules, don't they? No, they don't, do they? It's electrics that take modules. Yeah, let's do logistics 2. So how can I better get ore over here? So I need some more turrets up here, I think. Yep, that'll do us. See how we're doing on pollution, because these will really ramp up pollution, the steel furnaces. I don't know if you saw on the thing, it actually doubles the pollution output, so they're not quite touching it. Do I need more steel? Oh, you always need more steel. Steel will be quite a limiting factor for us throughout quite a lot of the game. Because what this is effectively doing is cramming 2 into 1, which is not ideal. Really we want to put a balancer on here. Can I fit a balancer in? I think I can. So this is what I was sort of babbling on about at the end of the last episode. This is where the sort of situation where you want to be using balancers. So can I fit this in somewhere and somehow? I could maybe pop it in here, maybe, and then route the things around. I think that'll work. So what this should do, it should ensure essentially that we are pretty much filling up these two belts, because we've got way more production going on than, you see how it's sort of backing up. But this is this thing I was saying about, this is clearly a weak line as it were, sort of weak on one side, so you end up with this, you know, underflow here, but it's being essentially taken by the other belts, and that's why that's what it means by balancing. You know, so we're getting 3 completely uneven inputs and 2 pretty much filled outputs. I can never remember how many furnaces it takes to fill a belt. There's a website called Factorio cheat sheet which has all the numbers on. My memory is it's 24. That's for both sides, so it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. $24, so that would be 20, 24. And I put that in the wrong place, haven't I? Actually, let's just do that, actually. Oh, that's logistics 2 done. I would quite like to build a car, as I say, so that we can run around, basically. So yeah, I want a car. And that's just there, isn't it? There we go. We'll have to see. So how many have we got now? We've got 2. Well, actually I can count them in a very simple way. If I do that, it tells me I've got 24. Can you see the numbers on the bottom? I pointed at the screen there. Can you see the numbers along the bottom? That's it, telling us how many are in there. I'm just using Q to deselect. Well, that looks pretty full. I mean, obviously we're getting some back pressure. It's not quite using this entire line, but as you can see, it is pretty much full. So I think see, my memory, because these are twice as effective, my memory is that it's actually 48 to do with stone furnaces, and so then you halve that for these. It's 24. Is my memory, but that might be the electric furnaces. So I'd look it up, but I can't be bothered at the moment. I'm gonna say Factorio cheat sheet is where to go to find that information. Oh yeah, we can pick this up now, can't we? Bing bong bing. We'll also research railway. It's interesting that these aren't quite being filled, because this is, to me, this looks like a full belt coming in. Because if you look at the maths, if that is 24 to fill a belt, then these are 12. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it should be filling these as well, but it isn't. These are only active some of the time, basically. So that's interesting. It suggests it probably isn't actually properly spitting out 2 full belts. Get rid of this yellow ammo. What we can do is just pop it in here. And stick it in there. Stick that in there. And that in there. And then stock up on piercing. So that was railway finishing. Okay, so this episode we constructed the first part of our sort of mall/starter base production line, and we boosted our production of materials. Oh, it is now filled up. I think that's because of the back pressure now, because this is, you know, the iron production line is full, so it's pumping out steel. But you can see very clearly steel production is tiny, a tiny trickle, even though we've got in exact parallel amount of iron production and steel production. Because of this 1:5 ratio, you know, it's a fifth of the amount. So it's, you know, whereas a belt, you know, belt is 15 items per second when full, this is, you know, giving us, what, 3 items per second, is it? Because it's a fifth. So yeah, it's a very low, very small amounts of steel produced in that old facility there. But I say that's entirely as expected. Yeah, so I think we'll call it an episode there. I'm just going to have a quick look at the biters. So they are very close. Next time we'll make a car. I'll probably go and have a look at them, see maybe if we can't take them out. Our tactic is to defend the pollution cloud. So this is our pollution cloud. And we have... there's a gap in our radar coverage here, so there could be something in there. I doubt it, otherwise we'd probably have been attacked. But as this pollution reaches these guys, they will start absorbing that pollution and turning it into biters. And as it gets high, they will then send those biters in to attack us, aiming for military things that pollute, produce pollution, that sort of stuff. Yeah, so we probably want to go and preemptively take them out. They're also relatively close to quite a nice grouping of resources there. But yeah, then our next job will probably be to do the research and produce things that we need in order to basically take this crude oil patch. Just turn pollution off for a second. Also then obviously the ultimate aim is to get our bus going either. This is now looking favourite. Look at that. Stone, if you overlap on stone, it's not too much of a problem there. It gives you way more stone than you really need. We can try and convert it all to landfill. But that's a nice stretch of real estate there. Okay, we'll call that an episode there. If you've been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it. You might consider coming back for another one. I've been Magicians. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.